Do you like ghosts? Do you like history? Hi, I'm Mary Jo for Offthetrails, and tonight Greg and I are going on the Fort Pierce Historic Walking Tour. We're going to meet some of the local celebrity ghosts of Fort Pierce, like Bean Bacchus.
Board the train, just pulled right on it too. He's on his way too. Is everybody in? Come on, there's plenty of room for everybody. Any railroaders in the group? Any active railroaders? Retired railroaders? Any wannabe railroaders? Well, that counts.
I'll be a railroader.
I'll be a railroader. Well, you'll need to know about tools like this. The brakeman's hand lantern. This particular one is from the old days. It's burning kerosene right now. This one also. And the switchman's lantern, also burning kerosene. When they open the switch, notice the 4 lights turn, and it gives a different signal. It can tell the train crew whether the switch is lined for them or against. And one piece that I definitely want to pick up, and you know, I need to let the big strong guy pick this one up. I can only lift it for a second, it's pretty heavy. This particular piece, and I'll spin it around so you can see inside, the font, the kerosene, the burner, the wick, is off the Stewart Bridge. It's the top knot from the Stewart Bridge. It showed when the bridge was up with the red lights and when it was down with the green lights. We're very, very lucky that the museum has let us borrow it for this evening. Thank you, Jerry. When they went from telegraph to telephone, this original telephone was right here in this depot, right here in Fort Pierce, and so was this light. In 1963, they did away with passenger service, and this is what they did. I know it's getting very, very dark. I need to stay underneath the street light. This is what they did to their passenger depots. They didn't need them anymore, so they bulldozed them. The day before this happened, this lamp and this phone came out of this building. We're very, very pleased, very thrilled to have it. Now, where we are looked like this, and I'm going to pick this up. I keep breaking Jerry's picture frame. This is the corner we're standing on in 1907, 103 years ago. Town has changed quite a bit. The depot came in, it's the small structure, and it's right across the way, or would be right across the way right now. The white building would be here in this vacant lot behind us, the ice house, back in 1907. Depot Drive, it still says Depot Drive. He built very light rail, very flimsy temporary structures to get the railroad going. And then his heavy crews came back afterwards, and they put down heavy track and permanent structures. That's the reason that there are 2 different depots right here in Fort Pierce. In 1892, our first depot had a night watchman, and he came out about this time of the evening with his light. And as he went across, he saw a little black cat on the tracks, and he went out to save the cat. Well, don't go on the tracks. The cat scampered off, and the southbound Daylight Express number 29 came, and our night watchman and his lamp went under the train. Well, that's very sad, and here's the spooky part. Mark and David, Paul and Tim, and Carl and Carlton all say at this time of the evening, when they come south, that they occasionally see this light. Never northbound, never the shunting train, but the through trains that take the place of number 29. So when you go across, and you promised you were going to go across here on the sidewalk, take a look and see if you see that red light, because this is the right time of the evening. Don't forget to come and see us at the museum. We're just a mile up the street where the steam engine is. We're there every Saturday afternoon. Come visit us. We'd love to see you all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Goods had to come down the waterway.
Watch the bodies. We apologize for the smell. They've been there for a long time.
Everybody squeeze in.
And we're here representing the Ashley Gang. The Ashley Gang terrorized the state of Florida for many years. In the early 1900s, they committed various crimes ranging from bootlegging to bank robbing. They robbed trains. Back then, Florida was frontier, with frontier sheriffs who practiced frontier justice. One of the sheriffs was Bob Baker, and he was in Palm Beach. And he and John Ashley, the ringleader of this gang, had an ongoing nasty feud for years. They did not like each other for obvious reasons. They traded threats back and forth, and one threat in particular, John Ashley would leave calling cards at his crime scenes, kind of, so Sheriff Baker would know who it was that did that. He one time left a bullet after robbing a bank with the bank. Back this way a little bit.
where the very first home was built, is in this section known as Edgartown. Well, they had their own little post office, and then we're going to go to the P.P. Cobb building, and you'll see where the post office is as we get further down that way. The Cannon Company, they wanted their own post office. They wanted their own place. So they petitioned for it. They were given the rights to it. And they also named the town of Fort Pierce after Benjamin Pierce, who was the brother of Franklin Pierce, the president.
My husband was Dr. Clyde Platts, and he moved down from Michigan to this house in the late 1800s. So I'm back visiting my house. Yeah, I love this house. We had 3 little children, 3 boys. And after we settled in, I had 2 more children, girls. We came because Clyde was suffering from a rare blood disease, and we thought the warm climate would help him. Well, he was the first doctor here in Fort Pierce, and he'd go make house calls, not with a car, we had a bicycle. Go around on his bicycle. But when he had to go to far out like Kissimmee and Okeechobee, he used our horse and buggy.
Hello, my name is A.E. Backus. My mother named me Albert Ernest, but all my friends call me Bean. I was born in 1906 here in Fort Pierce, Florida, and I grew up in a house that was not far out of town along the Indian River. When I was a little boy, people said I had very artistic talent. I used to paint in watercolors and around me. I painted the river, I painted the palm trees, I painted the beauty and the nature of Florida, which back then was easy to find. Today it seems like there's a lot more shopping centers than there is the beauty of Florida.
You want to come up this way? Don't stand behind. I'm sorry, I didn't realize. Okay. Hi, my name's Arlo, and this is Elodie. We're your hosts for the Seven Gables house. I'll tell you a little bit about the house. And Elodie, who lived here, which is a real treat for you all to get to meet her, we'll talk about her time here with her family. The house was built approximately in 1905. We don't know who built the house, and we don't know who lived in the house originally. The house was relocated several times and actually remodeled several times. Gables were added, porches were taken off, porches were added, different siding coming and going, paper on top of wallpaper, paint on top of wallpaper. And you'll see some of this when you come down this way. It's kind of a, excuse me, what's the word I want to use? Pictorial of how the house was moved.
You know, when you're in a big family, you have to share everything. You got to share your bed and and your clothes and everything. Most of you are shaking your head like you understand. Are you from a big family? So you know what that is. And I come home and my sister Lynette was already all dressed up in my clothes,
ready to go out.
Off with her boyfriend. So I had to pick out something else. I had to be picking something out other than what I planned all the time.
It's Port St. Lucie. In the 1600s, it was called Santa Lucia, but once the New Yorkers later on in centuries come here, they like to make changes, and now we call it Port St. Lucie. What happens after the Spanish and English were here for a while? There were 5 flags that flew over Florida: the Spanish, the French, the English, the United States, and the Confederate flags. When we started to encroach on the Indians, we started to have what we call the Seminole Indian Wars, the first, second, third Seminole Indian Wars. And during the period of the second Seminole Indian Wars for the settlers who were here, Lieutenant Colonel Benjamin Pierce built a fort about 1.5 miles down on the right side of the road. You still can see the remnants of it. It's a little hill. And that area is chosen because this area was all oysters, and it was the only spot close by with a freshwater spring, and everybody needs fresh water. That fort was made out of palmetto logs, and it only lasted about 4 years. As time went on...
Well, this has been a great tour. We've learned a lot about Fort Pierce and met some of the local celebrities.